In January 2026, we went to Belize. Belize is a small English-speaking country surrounded by the Spanish-speaking country, so a small English-speaking country with less than 500,000 people. Because of that, it's a fairly wild country. When I say wild, lots of forested areas and natural areas, and so it's a good opportunity to see birds, which we did see plenty of. So our trip was mainly birding. I will provide a list in the description of the birds that we saw, and we did see about 50 species that were new to us, never seen before. So it was a good place to go visit. The other advantage of going to Belize is it's a very small country. You can get from one end to the other very rapidly. And finally, the other advantage is it's got lots of Mayan ruins. So in between birding trips, you can have some trips to some of the Mayan ruins and see something just a little bit different as well. So it was a very enjoyable trip and one that I would highly recommend for anybody. When we came into Belize, you come into the international airport near Ladyville. We were picked up at the airport and we were driven to Bird's Eye View Lodge in the Crooked Tree Wildlife Sanctuary. We spent several days here and did a boat trip. We did some walking around the resort and some day trips. And so one of the day trips, we go out to the New River and go on a boat, by boat up the river to the Lamani Mayan Ruins up here. Then another day we did a trip over to the Alyun Mayan Ruins. And then another day we took a trip to the community baboon sanctuary. And there are no baboons in Belize, of course, so these are Yucatan black howler monkeys that we saw there. When we left here, we actually came down the highway here and we went to the Belize Zoo. And the Belize Zoo, it is a zoo, but they try to keep the animals in a natural environment, and lots of them are ones that have been rescued. Injured animals have been rescued and are kept there. And you will get the opportunity to see animals that you just won't get to see in the wild because they just don't show themselves. Things like jaguars and harpy eagles. So again, this was our trip. Bird's Eye View Lodge was the organizer of it, and will put a link to their website. Okay, our Belize trip started, as I said, in a Crooked Tree Resort. This is a Bird's Eye View Lodge, a great place to stay. They organize all of the first part of our trip, and I would highly recommend them, and I will put a link in the description. The reason people go here is it's a birding hotspot. Mainly, people go on the lagoon on a boat trip to see the different kinds of birds that you can see in the waterway. Having said that, we did walk around the lodge in some of the areas there, and we saw different kinds of birds. Our guide took us to another area where we saw some different parrots. And this just shows us going on the boat trip. It was part of it was open, and part of it they go right through these reeds. Now I'm going to show the birds. You can see the name of the bird up at the top. They are in alphabetical order, not necessarily the order that we saw them. They're in alphabetical order. So this one is an acorn woodpecker. He had actually made a nest in a power pole. This is an Ninga. This is an Aplomado falcon. This is a Baltimore oriole. And this is a bare-throated tiger heron, and I really like the environment with this one. This was a black-cowled oriole. We saw a number of orioles just in the yard. And this one is a black-collared hawk. And this is a black-hooded oriole. This one is a blue-gray gnatcatcher. And this is a boat-billed heron, and we were fortunate to get this guy. They are active at night, not in the daytime, but this guy was in a tree. When we got close, he opened his eyes for us for a couple of minutes and never moved, and we got some great images. This is a cinnamon becard. This is a common ground dove. This is a common toady flycatcher. A great black hawk. This is a great blue heron, and he had a rather large catch as he flew away. And this is a green heron. So this was on the boat trip. Just loved the environment that we were able to capture some of these birds in. And these are groove-billed Annies. Not the prettiest of birds, but I like the way the three of them were together like this. This is a hooded warbler. As I said, the zoo is a great place to go. This fellow was there, and you'll see some interesting birds as well as animal species. This is a lesser yellow-headed vulture. And this is a limpkin, again on a boat trip, and just love the environment that they were in. This is a mangrove cuckoo. And this is a mangrove swallow. This is a northern jacana. This is an immature. And you can see the feet. And this is an osprey. So they were there, and they're birds that come all the way up to visit us in Canada. This is a purple gallinule, and I think you know where the name will come from. He was very purple. And this was one of the parrots that we got. So this is a red lord parrot. And so the red lord, that's where the name comes from. This is a rose-throated Bacard, a roseate spoonbill, a rufous-browed peppershrike. This is a russet-naped woodrail, and they were running around the yard. This is a male snail kite, and it's interesting, when we started our boat trip early in the morning, we must have passed at least 10 or 15 of these birds. There's a lot of snails, and so there's a lot of snail kites. And this is one of the females, just a little bit different coloring. And a snowy egret, again, a common bird, but the environment, just loved the environment they were in. And this is a sungrebe. And so this is an unusual bird just look at the feet and the color of the feet. And we got him on the river when we were going to the Lamani Ruins. This is a tricolored heron. And this is a white-fronted Amazon. Sorry, white-fronted Amazon. And so you see the white here. And so why that's important, you'll see in a minute. This is a wood stork. This is a white-crowned night heron. Okay, so this is a yellow lord Amazon, and he's got this white patch up here, but the difference is he's got this yellow lore down here. Okay, so they're somewhat similar, but you have to look carefully to see the differences. This is a yellow-throated warbler. These are Yucatan jays, only found in the Yucatan Peninsula. Now he's in the shade, unfortunately, but if you happen to get the wings in the sun, they're iridescent like hummingbird wings, and they can really shine and sparkle. So interesting birds. This is a Yucatan woodpecker. And finally, not a bird, but when we went to the baboon sanctuary, this is what you see. These are Yucatan black howler monkeys. They're not very big. They rarely, we were told we were extremely lucky because they rarely come down to the ground. They normally just stay up in the trees, but this one came down to eat and carrying her youngster with her. And the youngster decided to get off and enjoy a little bit of a meal himself. And so they just go and eat the leaves. Black howler monkeys. And this is the other thing that we saw, and these are green iguanas, and they climb to the very top of the trees, and you can see he's on fairly small branches, and I kept expecting them to fall down, but they don't. That's where they go, because this guy's probably about 6 feet long. They're not small. They're big creatures. And finally, I put this one in, and was at the zoo, and Yes, it's a zoo picture, but it's a harpy eagle, and they're very rare to see in the wild. They're really difficult to see, and so even to see one in a zoo is kind of amazing. And you see the claws. They say the claws are as long as a grizzly bear's claws. They're one of the biggest eagles in the world, and they capture sloths and monkeys. And so it was interesting just to see him, even if it's in a zoo.
Okay, when we left Crooked Tree, we came all the way over to the ruins, Xunantunich ruins here, almost on the Guatemalan border. It takes about 2.5 hours to go right across the country and come see those. When we finished with those, then we went to the Crystal Paradise Resort. And again, I'll put a link in here. And they organize all of our activities in this area. So there's just out of Crystal Ray, just out of San Ignacio. San Ignacio. And again, they did a really good job. I'd highly recommend them. So some of the things we did right beside the resort, there's a river. And so we did canoe down the river, saw some different kinds of birds, walked just around and saw different kinds of birds right around the resort and in the bush areas around there. They took us a couple different times up into the Spanish Lookout. Now, the Spanish Lookout, you can see, is an agricultural community up here. It's a Mennonite community, modern Mennonites. Because it's been farmed, it's been deforested, and you get some open field type birds, some of the flycatchers and things like that. They also took us into the lagoons, and again, we saw different kinds of birds there, and we did a night tour, night drive there as well, and saw different kinds of birds as well. So, spent a little bit of time in the Spanish Lookout. They also took us, uh, we organized through them, and we went to Tikal. And Tikal, this is the border. So in Guatemala is Tikal, and you go over there. It's about a 2-hour drive to go over there from Crystal Ray. And they, the Belizean guides are not allowed to guide in Guatemala. So we were met at the border by a Guatemalan guide. They did an excellent job for us and took us over there. Now, just beware, you do see in some of the warnings about the crossings and things like that. There is crime in the area, so it is highly recommended that, by myself at least, that you go with a guide. And we never felt unsafe at all. So we went all the way over to Cal. Cal is a reserve, all kinds of birds in there as well as the Mayan ruins and some really incredible Mayan ruins. We also went up into the forested area, the mountain pine forest area up in here. And again, it's higher altitude, different kind of birds that you will see in here. And so I spent a day doing some birding in that area. We did go one day to the Caracol monument down here, and so this is the biggest Mayan ruins in Belize. And I believe it's well worth a trip. It takes you about 2 hours to get there from San Ignacio. So because of that, it's a long ways from Belize City. You don't get the charter cruises coming in there and dropping off passengers that you will get in the other ones. So it was quite empty, and you have quite a bit of space yourself. Again, a few comments about this. You read things and the people say you need a good 4x4 to get there. Well, the road has been recently improved, and you can get there in a small car. The road is just fine. The other problem is that because it's right next to the Guatemalan border, there have been Guatemalans that have come in and they've caused some issues. Actually, shot a police officer there, and there was a time when you could only get there with a police or a military escort. That's not true anymore either. There are armed guards around there, so I guess they're trying to make sure things don't happen. But again, didn't feel unsafe there at all. So those are the places we saw. Again, different kinds of birds around the monuments themselves. You can see it's a very forested area. So again, Crystal Paradise Resort organized everything that we did here. I would highly recommend them. It was a really nice place to stay, good food and good tours, well organized.
So once again, I'm going to call out the bird's name. You can see it up in the top. So these were all seen while we were at Crystal Paradise Resort. Having said that, some around the resort itself, some in the open farmlands, some in the mountain pine forest, and some way up in Caracol. So they're in alphabetical order, not in the order that we saw them. So barn owl. This is a bat falcon. And this is a black and white warbler. This is a black-cheeked woodpecker. And this is a black-headed siskin. And just point out that some of them were from a distance, and so they're a little bit pixelated. Can't help that. And this was a black-headed trogon. And this was a black-throated green warbler with his lunch. This is a black-throated shrike tanager. And this is a chestnut-colored woodpecker. And this is a collared aracari. I will say, of course, they are all around the resort, and they come up to the feeders, but this one was actually in one of the trees near our accommodation. Common black hawk. So the one you saw previously was a great black hawk. This is a common black hawk. This is a common parake, and so this was on our night drive. And this is a common squirrel cuckoo. This is the eastern meadowlark, eye-ringed flatbill. This is a Pharyngus pygmy owl. And this is the forked-tailed flycatcher. So this is the fork-tailed flycatcher. You're going to see another one later on. This is a gartered trogon. And this is a golden-fronted woodpecker. So different than the other one, which was a yucatan. This is a golden olive woodpecker. And this is a green jay. This is a green-breasted mango. Hammond's flycatcher. Ivory-billed woodcreeper. Interesting tails that they have. And this is a laughing falcon. This is a Lesson's motmot. And this is a lineated woodpecker. A little blue heron. This is a long-billed hermit. A Louisiana water thrush. And a mangrove vireo. A northern barred woodcreeper. And this is a northern rough-winged swallow. Olive-throated parakeet. And a pale-vented pigeon. Plain-breasted ground dove. Purple-crowned fairy. This is a red-capped manakin, and I will say we saw him a couple times just around the resort area. Red-throated ant tanager. And of course, not a bird, but this is when we went up to the mountain pine forest, and there is a waterfall. Some people go swimming in the pools around here. So this is on the way to Caracol. So people go to Caracol for the morning and come back in the afternoon and spend some time here. Ruddy woodcreeper. This is a roughest-capped warbler. This is a roughest-tailed jacamar. And this is a russet-naped woodrail. We saw them running around the yard. Here they were along the river when we were on our canoe trip. This is a rusty sparrow. This is a scaly-breasted hummingbird. This is the other flycatcher. So this is a scissor-tailed flycatcher. And if you look in the background, you can see that it was a little warm that day and we're getting a little heat haze. Scrub euphonia. This is a slaty-tailed trogon. This is a summer tanager. Very bright red birds. And vermilion flycatcher. Pretty little birds. This is a violet saberwing. Wedge-billed woodcreeper. Wedge-tailed saberwing. And this is a white-crowned parrot. A white hawk. He was giving us the evil eye. And of course we have a white ibis and a little blue heron together. Kind of neat little picture. And this is a white-tailed kite. And you can see he's got his lunch there. This is a white-collared manakin. They look like little puffballs. This is a white-eyed vireo. This is a white-necked Jacobin. A white-whiskered puffbird. A wood thrush. A yellow-throated euphonia. Yellow-winged tanagers. You see a little bit of yellow on the wings. That's where the name comes from. And this is up in the mountains, and you can see they call this the 1,000-foot falls. So this is, again, Belize is an English-speaking country, so things are in feet. It was miles per hour, not kilometers per hour, so that was kind of interesting. So this was 1,000-foot falls. We were hoping to see some raptors. We weren't lucky enough to see them. This was on our way back. This is a Yucatan rust-rumped tarantula, and our guide actually got out of the vehicle and chased him off the road so he didn't get run over. So when we were in Belize, we went to see the Tikal Ruins, which are absolutely amazing. It's actually closer to San Ignacio in Belize than it is to Guatemala City. So lots of people make that trip. We saw a number of birds there. Guatemala is about 5 times the size of Belize in area, but it has almost 40 times the population. So unfortunately, large portions of the country have been deforested. But the Tikal area is actually a nature reserve as well as an archaeological reserve. And so they have lots of species in there. Even jaguars have been seen right on site by the tourists. So again, call the bird's name. So this is a brown jay, and he's got his meal with him. This is a crested swan. This is an eye-ringed flatbill. This is a giant cowbird, and he was quite a ways away. And these were the interesting, these are the ones we really wanted to see, and we were lucky enough to see them. So this is a great curassaw. And these ones, because most of the country is deforested, they only really live in reserves anymore. And so if you want to see them, you have to go to one of the reserves, and our guide knew where they hang out, and that's the advantage of a good guide. And of course, the female is quite different coloring, and so we saw both the male and the female when we were there. We also saw a keel-billed toucan, and he's got a very interesting bill. We saw a Montezuma ora pendula, and again, they have very interesting markings. And this is the other one that we had really hoped to see, and we were lucky enough to see him. This is an ocellated turkey, and they're not hard to see in this site. They run all over the place, and their feathers are actually iridescent as well. So very, very colorful birds from the turkey family. And this is a rare endangered species. This is the orange-breasted falcon, and he was up on top of the Tikal ruins. And so this is taken from a long ways away and cropped quite a bit. But we were fortunate enough to see him when we were there. And this is a pale-billed woodpecker. And this is a pair of plain chacalacas, and they were cuddling. And we saw a slaty-tailed trogon. And some turkey vultures were hanging out in the morning when we went walking. This is a white-necked puffbird. And I'm just going to put these here because there's just so few of them. But this is when we went to Caye Caulker. So they're not in the ruins, they're in Caye Caulker. And so this was a cinnamon hummingbird. This was a plain warbler, palm warbler. And this is a white-crowned pigeon, and so they are unique to this area, and he was kind of interesting to see. So again, Tikal Birds and then a few from Caye Caulker. Okay, now I'm going to show a few pictures of the different Mayan ruins that we went to visit. You can actually jump from one to the other if that's your desire, or skip them all if that's your desire. So the first one we went to were the Lamani ruins, and again, this one you can go by car. If it's a long trip, you have to go all the way around. Most people come by boat. So we did a boat trip coming here, and so you arrive, and this is the first view that you get from the boat, and this is the tallest ruins at the site. Just zooming in a little bit so you can, well, actually this isn't the zoom, the other was wide angle, and this is our telephoto lens. You can see there was actually a vulture sitting up in the top. Okay, one of the things that's interesting about the Mayan ruins here in Belize is virtually all of them you can go up. Some of them have stairs that you have to go up to get to the top, and this one in particular you could just go up the natural stairs. Just be aware the stairs are very, very steep and quite large. I believe the Mayan were fairly small people. I don't know how they took such large steps. And this just goes to show the same ruin. You saw the people that are all there. So it's all about timing. When we got there, there's lots of people there. When we're coming back, managed to get a picture of that ruin without anybody on it. And this is just another one of the ruins at the Lamani site. And showing a close-up of the face. And what's interesting is almost all of the Mayan ruins that have faces like this, they've plastered over the top to protect the actual faces underneath. So you get to see what they look like, but they're actually plastered over. This is another one of the ruins, and you can see that that's one of the interesting things about the ruins in Belize. They're almost all in the jungle. This is another one of the ruins, and you can see the people up at the top. This one you have to go around to the back. There's steps that you can go up with, and it actually has railings, which again was not existent in a lot of them. So you wonder about the safety issues. They don't seem to be as concerned as we would be in Canada. This is going up to the top, and you can see the river out there. The river gets wider there, almost into a little bit of a lagoon there, but you see you get to go right up to the top. They have closed off these staircases because they do not want you going to the very top of this ruins. Just to show a couple of things that we did see in the boat ride coming back, and so this is a Mesoamerican slider. We saw the Moret's crocodile. Not a very big one, rather small one. And these are bats. And you look there, our guide on the boat obviously knew where they hang out because you can't see them. They just blend right into the wood. So anyway, these were on the trip to Lamani. So the second set of ruins we went to were the Alyun ruins. And this image was taken in their little museum that they have here. And the largest jade statue in the Americas was found on this site. This is not actually it. This is a plastic replica. The real one sits in a museum where it's a little bit safer. This is an image, and I'm actually able to climb up to the top to take an image showing you some of the ruins. Okay, different angle showing some of the other ruins. Again, some of more of the ruins. And again, you can see I'm at the very top of the ruins, staking out over one of the plazas. And so again, was almost nobody here when I went, and it was a pleasant little tour. You can climb right to the top of all of the ruins. So the next site we went to was Xunantunich. Now I'm sure I slaughtered that name, so if you look at the spelling up here, you can see how it's spelt. Now, to get there, you have to cross the river, and this was kind of interesting. So you see this cable. This is hand cranked. So somebody cranks it by hand and takes it back and forth. And I'm thinking by the end of the day, they must be absolutely exhausted to crank this little ferry back and forth. You might wonder why they don't build a road or a bridge going across here, and I suspect it's part of the experience. And so that was really interesting. This just shows the beginning of the site, and I took this picture just to show you that most of these sites are actually deep into the jungle. And just another view and some of the ruins that you will see. And that last one, I was on the other side shooting this way. Now I'm over by the ruins you just saw. Maybe I'll just back up. So this is the ruins here. So I went to the other side, and now this is what you see this way. And you get took this picture so you get an image of the size because of the people that are walking there. And again, this is the main ruin, and you see that people walk up. Now you do walk up, you have to go around, and you can see you go up here. But again, you get to go up onto these ruins. And this is the staircase that goes around the back and goes up. But at the end of the day, you get to go to the very top. This one is very close to the border with Guatemala. And you can see here, it's just absolute jungle that this ruins is found. Okay, the largest ruins in Belize are the Caracol ruins, and so these are way over by the Guatemalan border, and it takes 2 hours to get over there, even from San Ignacio. And so you don't see very many people. This one there is actually a person, but there's very few people. But the other thing, the reason I took this picture, here's the trail. You go over all the routes here, and it is absolutely in the middle of the jungle. You can see here again, trail in, and it's all surrounded by jungle. This is the ball court, one of the ball courts. Just some more of the ruins, and again, just trying to show the jungle that's here. And again, you walk through the trail. This is another ball court. It's not the same ball court as you saw just a second ago. Some more of the ruins. And again, just showing another angle. And so this is another one of their temples. And you see, again, people can climb up to their heart's content. Some more of the ruins. This is a sky palace, and I'm just going to run a little video. And so this is the main plaza. And so this is the other side of the plaza here, and you come around. And I'm going to stop here. And so this is the Sky Palace. And I'm going to show you a number of images here. And so when I show you images in Tikal, there's some that look way taller than this one. But this one is really wide. And up across the top here, I'm going to show you an image from the top, and you're going to see ruins on top of ruins, it seems like. So on top of the Sky Palace part here, there's more of the Sky Palace even higher up. So just keep that in mind as we move ahead. Okay, so this is from that top, looking towards the other ruins, and we will climb to the very top of the ruins on top of the ruins. And so when you're up here and you're looking down, so this is what's on top, where I said on top, this is like the bottom of the top of the main pyramid, and there's smaller pyramids on top of the pyramid, and you get a view from here. You see just how high this is. This is still the tallest building in all of Belize. You can see what it's like. It's pure jungle out everywhere around here. And it was a really interesting sight to go see. Okay, some of the faces, again, they are plastered over to protect them. And we saw a little bit of a waterfall that we visited on our way going back. And finally, this is at the Tikal ruin, and so these are coatis, and they are running around. You see people taking pictures. You get an idea just how close people can get. If you were to Google online, I invite you to Google online jaguar catching coati at Tikal, and so there's some tourists taking pictures like this, and a jaguar came right in front of them, almost ran into one woman, and grabbed one of these coatis for lunch. So that shows you that this is a wildlife reserve as well as ruins. This is just, and the site is quite expansive, and this is one of the best Mayan ruins in all of Central America. And this is one of the temples, and you can see again it's narrow and tall. So this is just one. This is the main plaza, and again this is one of the uh, temples that you will see there, and lots of other ruins around. So this is the main plaza here. And this was taken with a cell phone, but I took a picture of this. This was the one I just showed you, and you can see the opposite there. There's another temple there, and you can see the ruins that surround the main plaza. So again, Tikal has some amazing ruins. And again, just showing it from another angle. And this is a different temple, not the same area, so different plazas. And just took this one to show you again, they're in the jungle covered with moss. It is a rainforest. And so this is we got to climb to one at the top of one of the temples, and you can see just sticking out of the jungle. So you can see that it's absolute jungle around here. And this is where one of the Star Wars movie, some animations was done. They have the Millennium Falcon flying over these ruins in one of the Star Wars movies. So if you go look that up, Star Wars and Tikal, you can see that for yourself. And again, just showing how they just peek out through the jungle. So again, absolute jungle as far as your eye can see. And another one of the ruins. And some stelae there. And another ruin. So you kind of get a feel for how extensive these ruins. We spent all afternoon and we climbed so many of these. By the end of the day, we do quite a bit of hiking, but our legs were pretty sore and tired by the end of the day. And of course, there is a little bit more than just the ruins here. This is one of the monkeys. And enjoying some of the nature's fruit. And at the end of our trip, we decided to go to Caye Caulker. So this is a resort island. It's a very small island and very developed. And people come here. Some of them like to swim. Most of the people come here because they can take some boat trips out and do snorkeling at the reefs. And there is the Blue Hole that you can do a trip to as well. So very popular to come here and spend some time on this island resort. And just wanted to show, this is from the top of our hotel that we were staying in. So you get an idea of how developed it is. But you see the water on one side, and then we turned and took a picture the other way, and you could see the water on the other side. So that's how wide the island is. So it's long and narrow. When I say long, that's relative. It's not that long, but it's very narrow. So a very small island and very, very built up and developed. What was interesting is you get to go right among the stingrays. So there's one place there where they actually feed the stingrays, and they come every afternoon. And so that was kind of interesting. You can see that they swim right by the people. They actually bumping into the people in some cases. One little kid wasn't expecting it. He got quite a start. But they feed them here. They do ask people to be not to try and touch them or anything, because they are, I guess you'd call, wild animals. But that was quite interesting. And there that same spot, we got to watch a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunset. And so this was the end of our trip. And Belize was very memorable, and I would highly recommend a trip to Belize to anyone.